We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. What's up, YouTube world? Yeah, back again. And this is a continuation, getting back to my top 5 series. Hoping y'all having a beautiful Friday, Saturday, wherever you are in the world. Yep. And from this point on, videos will likely be a bit shorter than what I've been doing lately, and also get more serious, really though. This is as you can see, this is the 5th installment of the top 5 series, and it's the top 5 reasons why American kids aren't educated. I'm just gonna get into it. Number 5, laziness. Now, we have a culture in the States and a culture, society, and almost a Western ideology right now that's it's just laziness, a bunch of do nothing. You get a good results with doing the least amount of work possible. Now, there's still a large percentage of the I would say a bulk of the population that still somewhat believes in hard work ethic. But there's a large percentage that just no. God forbid that Americans put in the effort. It's shameful because there's this history. I know there's a lot of that made this nation great. I know there's a lot of ugliness in American history, and I'm be the first to criticize and be cynical. But a lot of good, hardworking people that made America great, made it what it is. It just there ain't you don't really have to get to it. Just you done seen it, whether in high school and college, wherever you see it. People just lazy. One example with dieting. People don't want to put in effort to lose weight instead of just exercising and dieting. No, whatever. Bunch of ridiculousness. The easy way out. Ladies and gentlemen, work makes you it makes you a more developed person. It makes you a better asset to the society at large. But for some reason, missing that. Point number 4, brainwashing and indoctrination. Now, people may say, well, what is this cat talking about? Well, think about it, really. What are they really teaching us? A lot of times. It's a bunch of useless information, most of it. And then when kids get out of high school, say, when they try to go in the adult world, they don't know how to be an adult. You know what I mean? And then you wonder about some of the kids, decision making. They're not being educated. They're being told with a bunch of myths and stuff and useless information. I'll give an example. We're taught about unions. We're told unions are bad. Well, unions help make this nation what it is. Obviously corruption and stuff. But, either that or we're given a fairy tale story. Another example would be taught as bad. Communists, socialists, anarchists. When in fact all 3 of these were the reasons for, say, the 8-hour workday, overtime, fair working conditions, and the list goes on and on. You know what I mean? Not being, philosophy and stuff. Just stuff we won't need and use in life. Most people, anyway. Now, if you go and specialize, it's fine. And the funny part, I'm not even gonna get into that. Going into college, you learn, relearn. But it just let me move on, because it you know it if you really think and you really look at it. What are kids actually learning, or what they are not learning, should be the more alarming part. Number 3, the level of focus. Now, I'm not talking about college and universities. That's different. I'm talking mainly high school here. And then why do we have, you wonder why we're so low in, say, math and science in the world and blah, 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 and other things. People wonder, why is the the reason I'm doing this is people wondering, why is the American education system, even though some claim it's the best in the world. Come on, man, let's get real. Even though we have phenomenal teachers, we have phenomenal minds in America, in the United States. What in the States? What's going on? Well, one example. My third point is, the level. They're teaching the C students. I'm not bragging, but many A students. It's not that hard to almost anybody can get an A. Now it depends on what class, blah blah blah. And like I said, this is just high school and below, not college. Different story. But almost anybody can get an A or at least a B. Because it's just easy though. It's watered down information, and it's easy to use the system, even if you're not, that intelligent, whatever. If you just put the effort, you can get good grades. Again, it goes back to laziness. But you wonder why the rate of dropouts is so alarming. Part of it, yeah, some kids are lazy, but that's how it's always been. But the main thing I know, when my generation, especially, is we're not being challenged. A lot of times, we got very intelligent kids, or the classes are not interesting. They're just not. They're not applicable. They're a bunch of foolishness, and you're just sitting there and you're barely learning. And it's like, yo, why do I need this? Why do I need to be in this? It's pointless. You're teaching C-level students. And then you wonder why we have idiots in power and stuff. And then you're making it hard for the smart people. And then the smart people don't want to be smart because we're dealing with in a C-level world. Instead of trying to raise everybody's standards up. I'm not saying a bunch of heads, but you wouldn't have those if we were treated with some standards, high standards. Even though there's abuses around the world, part of what I do vibe would say, the Asian culture, even though some of it's too excessive, or say Europe is higher level of standard for completion. You will work hard. You will. There is no option for failure. You will, or you're just, it's kind of disgraceful, Number two. Sorry, sometimes my thoughts leave me. So, number two. It's gotta be just, alright, again, education. Again, like I said, I'm focusing on high school and below here. Why American, this kind of system of why kids aren't being educated? Because as opposed to, contrary is the word I'm looking for. Contrary to the rest of the world. In many other nations, some of the, even though we have some great teachers in high school, some of the greatest minds, I should say, in other nations, say Japan, Korea, whatever, different European nations, are in the high schools. Most of our greatest minds, with the teaching as far as are in our universities and colleges. That's why the American universities and colleges are arguably still the greatest in the world. Now, then you wonder why there's such a jump a lot of times at the university level as opposed to high school. You wonder why a lot of kids have trouble, especially freshman year, because it's a whole different experience. Not just for the social app, it's just what is required of them, because they're not being educated properly. They're not becoming, and you're not being taught how to be an adult. And that's really what education goes with. How can you be best beneficial, not to just society, but to yourself. And that's how you become society. They're not, the level ain't really there until the college, and not everybody goes to college. And in college itself is a whole nother subject, because there's a bunch of ridiculousness and why they don't. But college ain't for everyone. Why wouldn't it be for everyone? For different reasons why it ain't, but it just ain't. Not everybody can afford. Not everybody can go to college. Not everybody goes to college. So when the best that there is, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be the best at college, but when a good vast chunk of the the most brilliant, atmosphere and whatever is at that level that a lot of people don't go to, you wonder, you're not supposed, or at least don't even complete, you wonder why kids aren't being educated. The system's failing for multiple reasons. And this is the last point, the philosophy behind education. Again, I hinted at it with the brainwashing and indoctrination, and I can see this video went longer than I thought it would, but happens. Excuse. Sorry, y'all. Happens. Well, the philosophy behind education. We're not educating. It's just that simple. There's not educating. What I mean by educating, I don't mean just throwing out a bunch of facts. You're making kids robotic. Okay, I've seen it plenty. Where it got some intelligent classmates. But when it comes to exam time, nothing. Because they never learned the information. It was just spoon fed. It was force fed. It was all this. Never learned the information. Most of the information, I understand if you don't use it, you lose it, pretty much. But you never learned it in the first place. So when you go to try to apply it, it's not, when the point of education is for application, knowledge, it's to gain wisdom, it's to gain applicable things. Now there's some things that are just facts, like dates and junk. But, the purpose of history is learning fast. And I can go through every subject, what is the purpose? But the point is, it's just a bunch of becoming robotic. And so, again, with the brainwashing and indoctrination, is to where you don't become a thinker. Where you're not thinking, you're not questioning. Because they want a slave population. The powers that be have always wanted a slave population. It's got fought against, so they backed up. But they're slowly creeping again. It's so slow and gradual that most folks don't even see it. I mean, a lot of folks see it, but really, really see it, where their eyes are totally open. And then if you want to talk about it, we have over here a republic, not a democracy, against what most people think. But if you have a republic, we don't have a true republic. True republics never existed. Neither has an anarchy, and I want either one of the two. I'm just gonna throw this out at the end. Whether the two best systems, of just running a people, in anarchy, which is no government, but it is leadership, and a republic, a true republic, where the people are truly represented, But yet, in order for a republic to happen, you have to have an educated populace. There ain't no way of getting around it. Not just educate, they be reasonable and logical, and a whole bunch of, not hard, but it's simple, but, they have to be there. The Enlightenment thinking, the Freemasons, when they felt molded this nation, you look at the writings, that's what they said. You have to, the population has to know. They have to be able to think properly. And unless you have that, there's no future. And it just goes to tyranny or chaos. And then if it goes to chaos, it will go to tyranny, because there ain't no way around it. Like I said, this video spun out, and I'm sorry if it's longer than you like, but sometimes when when it hits you, it hits you. Alright, have a beautiful day, y'all. Peace.